Is this good that she's gone? Are you happy? Like, where do you stand? Or is it like, no, she was great for the show? And I mean, they just started filming.
I think she was great for the show when she first got on there. But slowly but surely, she became, instead of focusing on her own storyline or just being entertaining and interesting, she became an instigator of really like terrible things. And I think the whole Kathy situation probably would have had more attention, and fans wouldn't have been so pro Kathy if it wasn't Lisa Rinna. But
That's
Lisa
a good
Rinna,
point.
she's had a history of just being a terrible human being. Taking this girl, this is not a soap opera. These are real people that you're dealing with and real ramifications. And I think the fans really turned on her, and I think that was part of the reason why they all decided, like, yeah, let's not do this. Let's take a pause.
You think the fans, because I mean, I always said no, but after this, I think the fans really missed too. You think they have a real say if everyone
trust and believe. These, production companies, Bravo, NBC, they're paying attention to the fans. They really are. Especially like social media and things like that, and things that like interviews that you're doing and conversations that we're having.
They hear it all. They do.
Yeah, and I've heard from close sources that they are.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have people that know me, and I'm like, how do you even know who I am? Like, I mean, that's horrible. I was like, I'm not putting myself down, but like,
no, I get what you think. I had the same thing. Like,
listen, they do.
I got a DM the other day, this week, and I was just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, no, people listen, and that's where it's like, we were talking about this before we went there. Like, right, it's a fine. You either have to like stick to your guns and just be like, if it costs me an interview. So, I mean, that's the point I'm at. I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's nothing personal.
No.
I mean, you're not calling Andy when he says something you don't like. So why the hell are you calling me? Like, this is just what it is. And
they actually do call Andy.
Yeah, I mean, they do. And then maybe eventually lose their jobs if they call him too many times. But I have had a situation this week where I'm just like, girl, like, you can't. They're not even mad at me. I'm like a therapist now, and I'm like,
oh, see, I don't
girl,
have time
like,
for that.
you can't, like, I'm not on the show. Now, if you want to put me on the show, if you want to, like, I mean, give me a pay, like, what do you want?
I saw you on Jersey.
I've been on Jersey before, and I've been on New York too.
Oh, okay.
But like, this is just, I'm literally someone's therapist in the Housewife world for a current season.
Do you know any of the ladies for the RHONY reboot?
No. I mean, like, other than their announcement, I've never met any of them.
Yeah,
nope.
neither.
And it's so funny because when they were casting it, I knew people in the mix. So I'm just like, that would be great if just someone I know really well can get this. Because, right, then he can come on the show. But you know what? Then it would be like, oh, I can't, and this and that. They all change. They
do.
all change.
But I'm excited about the RHONY reboot.
You are?
It's fresh. And I know a lot of the fans want the OGs to come back and things like that. But I was like, you know what? This is actually a good thing because we know, look, we are from New York, so we understand what New York really represents. And yes, the Upper East Side is a section of New York, but we're in 2023. It would be nice to kind of see, because New York has changed dramatically since the premiere of RHONY.
Dramatically. It's changed dramatically.
It was diverse back then, but the neighborhoods that used to be very specific, a certain type you would see there, has dramatically changed too.
It has,
especially
right?
with the pandemic too.
I'm moving to the Upper East Side.
Excuse me.
No, but I mean, but to your point, I've lived downtown my whole life, and I was like, I mean, even 5 years ago, I was like, I would never, ever. First, I would never live above 14th Street. Then I would never live above 20. I was like a downtown snob, really. And then I'm like, I do spend most of my time on that Upper East Side. It has nothing to do with Housewives. I know.
Why did
you can still
know.
like me? Well, first of all, I think New York has changed since the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of New York is just gone to shit. Like, I hate to sound like this person.
No, it has.
And so it needs to bounce back. But why? How can I say this? As I get older, I find that I really am, like, I'm a Gemini. So I can go to like a dive bar and have a beer. I don't really like to drink beer. Or I can go to like a nice uppity place. But it's fun to, like, I find, like, I like to go to the nice uppity places. Like, I'd like to go out at 6 o'clock, meet you for a drink, and go home. You know what I mean? By like right. So it's like, I mean, again, I could do anything. I could go to the diviest bar and stay out all night. But it's like, and I mean, like, most of my life is up there. But if it's
And I think the prices have gotten better too on the Upper East Side, right?
compared to, I mean, like the West Village is like out of control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
love
like, I feel like, remember when for me, when I was very young and I thought all those old people lived on the Upper East Side. And
They did.
yeah, they did. And now it's just kind of like, well, that's okay. They're kind of fun, right?
Yeah. I mean, we literally watched these older people on a reality show from the Upper East Side.
Yes.
I'm sure I would wonder what they feel now about the Upper East Side, you know, in comparison to what it used to. Because as we said, all of New York has changed, and Brooklyn really is like the new Manhattan.
I would wonder how they feel about. Well, first of all, when they announced these two shows, I was like, "Oh, this OG show is now." I literally, and listen, this isn't about me being right. I just said like, "This is never going to happen."
Really?
I said, "I think this is a fake marketing announcement." I was like, I think if they said we fired everyone or we're starting over, people would have gone crazy. I think saying we have two shows, people were like, "This is." I mean, I think it was brilliant by Bravo.
Oh,
Brilliant. Like now everyone is like, you get two, but I was like, people don't realize they're gonna do this reboot first, which they did.
Yeah.
Like, and then we'll get to the OG show. That's really what just happened. And then
Yeah.
we had this whole thing fall apart with the salaries.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't. It's a whole thing. It's like, do you care that it fell apart? Did you purposely offer low salaries to hope it fell apart? I just don't think
I don't
they
think
care.
so. I mean, at least maybe not for Andy Cohen. I think Andy
yes.
wants it to
Yes.
be. This is just expanding his reach. You know
And
what I mean?
let's just call it what it is. New York is truly his baby. Like he lives here. Like these are his people. He loves Ramona, even though she was. Listen, he'll love you and fire you. He'll do what's best for his, $50, $75 million, but he does have a special vested interest in New York. Absolutely.
And I used to love New York too. It was one of my favorites. So I'm excited about
You are.
this reboot and where it's going to be. I do believe Legacy will happen.
You do.
I think it's just not going to happen in 2023.
You really think, because listen, I'm torn about this reboot. I really think it could go one of two ways, right? Like, I mean, here's the only problem. We have, well, look, Salt Lake was good for a minute. Like, we have
Two
to be.
seasons.
It was great for 2 seasons. We have to be open to just really getting to know these new people. Because look at all the other Bravo shows, Girlfriends in Paris. And, like, everything that's coming has failed. Everything. Love Match Atlanta.
Oh.
I know, like, right? Like, and I've had these people on my show, but like what else has been new? That new travel show, Looking for Love.
Love Without Borders.
Yeah,
I loved that
you
show.
did. I didn't even watch it.
Oh, it was
didn't even watch it.
It was sort of like a
Really?
90-day fiance type of show. It was interesting. Do I think that it deserves another season? Maybe. But
Well, it's
I would
gone.
have.
I mean, I think I heard it wasn't coming back, and I mean, Paris I think is a big flop.
Yeah, that didn't rate really well.
And neither did Love Match Atlanta. I had those people on; they were very sweet.
Yeah. I like the idea of Love Match Atlanta.
I like the idea of Girlfriends in Paris. I love me some Emily in Paris.